Hi guys, and welcome to the State of Crypto, a one-stop source for all crypto-related news. I'm your host Martin, and this is episode 205. It's a XRPL XUMM launches, and will Binance buy CoinMarketCap? Now, if you're catching this from live, welcome, and if you're catching the replay and have any suggestions for us, please leave us a comment below. We really want to know what you're thinking. Now, if you want to be up to date with the latest crypto-related news, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button and that bell so you're notified when we go live. And if you want to keep on chatting with us, you can join us. Once the stream is done, you can join us on the Discord. Link is in the description, so it's the link to the amazing articles I'll cover here. Or you can join us on Twitter, which is where I'm a little bit more active now. And yeah, thank you guys for being here on an awesome Tuesday night. I hope you had a great time. Markets did go down a little bit, but not too much. Let's go and check the news, and then we'll jump onto the markets, right? There we go. Alrighty, so the first one, Bitcoin price pumps 600 to CME gap, but 6.6 thousand may be the end for the bulls. Now, this is from Cointelegraph, and it just basically talks about closing a gap, right? Basically, the Bitcoin price retraced 5,800 over the weekend, which left the markets with an open CME gap between 5,900 and 6,600. And aside from that, buyers have stepped in at the 5,850 level, leading to a $600 rise in the Monday price, so yesterday, right? And this is from yesterday. This is an article that came out yesterday, and it was one of the reasons why the price of Bitcoin went up, right? It was just to close that gap. I usually don't look at the futures market. Maybe I should start looking at them a little bit more active, right? And because we do tend to get those gaps on the weekend when the market's closed, and we do tend to come back and try to fill those gaps at some point in time, right? All gaps need to be filled at some point in time. So maybe I should start looking at those, right? Anyways, I just want to point this out. I'm not going to go into the rest of the article. It just talks about technicals. I really have not looked at these technicals, so I'm not going to cover it. I just liked the fact that they were finding a different explanation as to why the price of Bitcoin went up. We did look at some technicals that pointed to price action to the upside. But again, knowing that there was a gap that wasn't getting filled, it's also key. And like I said, maybe I should start looking at those futures markets, right? Anyways, this is from Crypto News Flash. It says that Ripple XRP-based banking application XUMM launches with 3,700 users. Now, the XRP-based banking application XUMM was launched a few days ago, yesterday, on behalf of Ripple. XRP Ledger Labs has developed XUMM, which relies on XRP as a bridge currency, and it's supposed to offer the same services as a bank without having to resort to an intermediary, and that is pretty interesting. Anyways, the XUMM app was initiated by the Dutch developer Wind. So yesterday we were saying that he was involved, then towards the end I saw someone mentioning him on a tweet like he didn't know what was going on, but apparently now that I have this current article, he was involved, and that goes back to prove my initial theory. Anyways, he was already published and developed the XRP Tip Bot and the XRP Parrot products. The banking application has been available for Android users to download in its beta version since 30th of March 2020, and XUMM offers users the same function as a bank account so that fiat currencies and contact information can be managed and transactions can be tracked. Furthermore, it's possible to deposit XRP to the wallet of XUMM and make transfer in almost real time, which is pretty cool. Imagine being able to send money without having to go to an exchange or without having to ask for the wallet, maybe with just an account, or having the person on your favorites or something like that, and then just be able to transfer, because it works as a basically banking application apparently. Haven't gotten my hands on it. It was available for download yesterday on Android. Today I think it was available for download on iOS, and it's just the beta version, so I'm probably going to wait for a more stable version to come in and be able to put money through it and test it. Anyways, this does state why in this article. However, after a few hours of use, Android users have reported some bugs. According to the community, it is not possible to get this start screen from some places in the app, and after opening the app on the phone, the app starts, but then the app gets stuck and it's not possible to get to the main menu. Wind thanked the community and promised to fix the errors as soon as possible. However, despite reported bugs, a large part of the community is satisfied with the XUMM in the first test run. Some reviewers already asked for the official start date of the full version. However, so far XRP Ledger has not provided, or XRPL has not provided an exact date for the release of the alpha version. XUMM is now also available for Apple devices, like it said, and it has been for a few hours after the app was rejected in its first run. So it probably got rejected, got reposted, and now it's been approved, so now you can download it if you have iOS. Vidsevin advises every user to send only a small amount of XRP to the app since it's a beta version, and it has become apparent as it still has many bugs. After 14 hours in the app store, already has 3,700 users, and it's just starting successfully, right? So it's pretty cool, man. I'm excited about this app, man. I want to get my hands on it, but not on a beta version, man. I want to get my hands on a full working version so we can test the features and really get to the bottom of how it's working and how it, find out some other problems later on. But I don't want to send money and then have some problems go through and then just have like money be lost. I'm just not willing to put that risk in right now for a beta version of the app. But I'm glad that something like this is out. It would be nice if they had like a test account where you get like test funds and then be able to work around the kinks, send transactions, etc. And then if you find anything off with that, you could potentially point it out to the developer, and that would have been really nice. But doing it with your own money, it's a little bit risky, especially since it's a beta version of the app. That's why I'm a little bit on the sidelines as to whether or not I should download it and put money into it. I think I'm gonna just wait until the full version is deployed. Anyways, the next article. Bitcoin and crypto world rocked by an estimate 400 million Binance bid for CoinMarketCap. This is from Forbes. Now, apparently, Binance is in talks to acquire a popular data site, CoinMarketCap. The deal is said to be in the final stages, and it looks like it will see Binance pay $400 million for CoinMarketCap, and that's according to the block, which is the news outlet that broke the news, even though I got it from Forbes. Now, the block reports that massive deal is expected to be announced later this week, and that CoinMarketCap's ability to drive a significant amount of web traffic is a major reason for Binance's interest, now citing people that are familiar with the matter. I wonder how, this is a quote from Larry Kermack, the block's director of research, and he said via Twitter, I wonder how Binance is going to deal with the obvious conflict of interest. And yes, it will be a conflict of interest. Warning that CoinMarketCap will no longer be impartial, but it already doesn't have a good reputation among the Bitcoin and crypto community. Now, CoinMarketCap it does not have a good reputation, and then having Binance have access to all that information could certainly lead it to manipulation, right? That's why I'm glad that there's other sites that we can go to, and I'll point them out in a second. Anyways, Eugene Ng, heads of MatrixBot and former trader at Deutsche Bank, also said via Twitter that the deal makes no sense to him. Who would ever trust CoinMarketCap after this? And yeah, he's correct. Like I said, dude, would you trust a third party that's supposed to report on volumes if it's been handled by one of the parties involved? I wouldn't, because then you're a judge and jury. And Binance, I think they're screwing up by doing this. If they're doing it for the traffic, they could have bought some other places, maybe a news outlet. But them going on and buying CoinMarketCap makes no sense, man. People are just going to lose trust in that. It's probably not the best move. Anyways, let's see, what else? This is Binance for fifth major acquisition, according to data from Crunchbase. Now, other sites that I was talking about, right? We do have Coin Fair Value, which is not as popular or not as good as CoinMarketCap, but we do have Crypto Compare, and then we have Coin360 that does show some things, and then we have Fiat Leak, and then there's other sites out there that we can look for, like World Coin Index, etc. So again, there are a couple of places we can go for information. Something's up with Fiat Leak. It's not loading properly. Anyways, Fiat Leak is this website. You guys probably already know it. You'll start seeing the transactions flow in the map. And, yeah, you can see them starting to flow right now, right? If you know the site, then it's good. If you don't, then it's fiatleak.com. Anyways, on to the next article. Binance is launching a new exchange in South Korea next week. And this is from the block. Now, Binance is launching a crypto-to-crypto exchange in South Korea next week, announcing the news on basically today. Binance said that the new exchange, Binance Korea, would open for registration and deposits on April the 2nd, and trading would open on April the 4th, while withdrawals will be open on April the 9th. Now, Binance Korea would support Binance Korean Won stablecoin at launch, The stablecoin is backed by South Korean won, and it just basically got listed on Binance.com. Now, Korean users will be able to convert Korean won into Binance Korean won stablecoin, which can then be used for trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Coin, and Binance Korean won. Binance said that the new exchange will also soon support US Tether, Binance Dollar stablecoins for trading, and then probably they will start adding more pairs. Again, this is what Binance is key, right? Maybe some of the decisions we don't agree with, but Binance is key because they do keep developing, they keep launching new exchanges, and they keep using their coins, mainly Binance coin, to get a lot of things done and go through, right? So again, that is why Binance, even though it might not seem like a huge coin right now, could have big potential, particularly because they have a use case, and that use case is just mainly being the coin for one of the major exchanges in the world. That is it for the news. We're going to jump on to the technicals. I'll play the small intro. You guys can join us if you wish. You can stick with us for a second while I play this intro, and we'll be back for the technicals part of the stream. There we go. We are back. Sorry about that. God, a bit sidetracked there. Something went wrong. Now switching screens. Now, guys, thank you for sticking with us for the technicals part of the stream. Let's look at what's happening with total market cap, right? Total market cap. Yesterday, very little movement to the upside, right? 1.31%. Today, moving down 0.65%. Approximately going down $1.15 billion, sitting at $176.23 billion market cap. Again, not a lot, man. Are we doing yesterday? Yes, yesterday's opening was 176.60. Today, we're sitting at 176.24. So we're slightly lower, a little bit more money flowing out today than it flew in yesterday. Now, things that we were looking at really here was just like some kind of hidden divergence, right, that we called out on Bitcoin mainly, but not here. And it just applies the same, right? We're going from a high to a lower high. Going from negative momentum to from positive momentum to much higher positive momentum. And again, really not interested in doing analysis on market cap generally. Wow, that is very loud for the Spotify ads. Dang it, they've never been so loud, man. That is just awkward. Anyways, let's play something else. They didn't scare me when the ads came in, man. What the hell, they're trying to give me a heart attack or something? There we go. Anyway, this is for market cap. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance. What's happening? Yesterday, Bitcoin lost dominance, 0.95%. Today's moving down 0.20%. Sitting at 66.18 in market cap. And again, I do want to see this go much lower. It's better for the cryptosphere. Now, price of Bitcoin sitting at $6,364.30. It's trading down $60, or approximately 0.93%. Right, like I said yesterday, stalling, right? Today, starting to move down again. Heading for that 20, right, on the simple moving average on the daily. Still within this area of support resistance that we talked about. I'm going to go on to the other chart that we look at, right? Had bearish divergence. Hidden, for some reason. Remember I told you guys some of the data got deleted from my charts? Yeah, that's why I have this line here. This one. But I don't have it here. All right, and that's why I had this line here. But I don't have this one here. Right. Anyways. Yeah. Well, I think this one was out to here initially. There we go. Yeah. So we were calling this divergence bullish, right? And then we also had this. Anyways, again, for some reason, when I opened TradingView on my phone, it deleted the MACD, and then when I reopened it, all the information that I had, all the lines I had traced, this was just gone, man. So I think I'm just not gonna open TradingView on my phone. The app is not the best. The app, it's weird to navigate and anchor stuff to on the phone, even with the stylus from the phone. It's just awkward, man. So it's not a good phone app, it's just good to look at prices real quick and try to gauge stuff with your eyes. But if you start clicking on things, it's just very easy to close indicators or move stuff around, and then it just makes it a mess when I come back. So I'm thinking, like I said, I'm not going to look at TradingView on my phone because it just makes it so, it just deletes too much data when I go there. Anyways, 6,361 for Bitcoin, right? Again, we're sitting at the 382 at 6,394, and we're flirting with that, man. We're trying to hold it, right? We're slightly below it right now at 6,361, but again, we've seemed to be trying to hold this area for dear life. We have not been able to get our move to the 50%. We did hit it here, move down. I was expecting for this to go much higher still. Now, like I said, we had divergence to here. From here to here, we don't have anything. That positive momentum starting to die out and sitting neutral on the RSI at 45.35, right? Anyways, that's it for Bitcoin. I'm going to move on to the 4-hour Bitcoin now. 4-hour, what's happening? We called this yesterday, right? Bullish divergence. We were here on the stream. We're starting to go up, right? We got above the 20, which was good. That getting above the 20 did manage to get us above that 6,365, and that was very good. Again, right now, starting to move down. That hit the 20 once at least. We actually even went down, hit 6,240, which is an area that we called out, right? We did set a movement to the downside, would potentially see us hit these targets. We bounced from them. Now we're still, like I said, below the 382 at 6,394, and we are moving down from there. So again, positive momentum starting to die out, and it's going lower on the RSI, right? Going to neutral still at 50.74. Now I'm trying to see something here. I didn't see this one yesterday. It's the 53.41. We're obviously much lower here, so we don't have any kind of divergence that is bearish. We're just moving down, and something that could start to happen here if we don't go this far down, at least 5,857 again, we might start a range and start to create this tightening pattern that might start to look like a triangle. Now I'm going to show it here. It would look something like this, right? Going from here to here. And then going from here to here, right? We could start doing this thing where we start to tighten and make the symmetrical triangle. Now, that's not a for sure thing that's going to happen yet, but it could be something that we start to develop. Now, keep an eye out for that. If we started range like that, we could have some problems. Hey, Crypto Pepe Silva, how's it going, man? Haven't seen you in a long time, brother. Thanks for being here. Yeah, man, how are things going for you, man? How's quarantine? Or how are you holding up or coping with COVID, man? Anyways, something we should watch out for, right? We called this one to the upside. It was good. When we started rally here, 10 p.m., I told you guys I was getting the feeling that we might break down. We didn't. We ended up going higher, getting above the 20. That's what we pumped. And we talked about that being a possibility. Just my gut was telling me this could have gone down. I mean, it didn't go up that much higher, which I'm not that I'm glad about it, but, I'm really not caring much for it right now until at least we get above the 200 or close to 200 simple moving average. I told you guys that, right? 200 simple moving average on the daily. It's key for being on the bull market. Right now, at least, I think we should get at least above 6,900 to at least consider some potential or breaking out of this downtrend that we're in. And it could certainly set us back up here again, right? And see us go slightly higher, right? Again, we're starting to channel on the Bollinger Bands. Tightness starting to come, not really coming back in. It's still a little expanded, but tightness might start to come back in. Positive momentum dying out. Let's go to the 1-hour chart. On the 1-hour chart, what's happening? We called divergence bearish yesterday at 6, right? Or sorry, at 3. Then we held the 382 for a couple times. Right, 382 at 6,394. We held it for a couple times, right? Like here again. Then the next time we came over, we did break down. We tried to get up to the 20, but we failed, and that's what propelled us down. We did manage to run down all the way to 6,240, all the way down here. Again, we know it's a support, and we called it as a support. We managed to almost hit it and bounce from there. And again, we were starting to go up. Seems like we almost went close enough. Let's see, what was this high? 6,387. And that target for us was 6,394. So we're a couple dollars off from hitting the 382, and we're rejecting going higher. So again, potential that we move to the downside, try to create some divergence, and maybe try to rally from there. Now, short term, what's happening? We're creating a sort of bullish divergence. Things on my side are good, man. We're starting to get quarantined here in Mexico. Government just declared that, people should just go out for essentials. And and that work for non-essential people or non-essential companies has to stop, and we'll figure out how that starts to affect the economy, right? There's still a lot. This just happened yesterday, so still yet to be determined, right? We're stocked on some food already, like rice, beans, lentils, flour, some canned goods, extra filters for the water, and other than that, we're good, I guess. Yeah, it hasn't broken out as bad as in the U.S. yet. I think Mexico's just at like 1,200 confirmed cases and like 29 deaths. So it's not as bad as it's being hit in the U.S. But I think it's just a matter of time. The government was too lax for a while, and it took them a while to really put this politics into place. Potentially the social distancing, etc. So there might be many more cases that start to show up, and it's just not going to be pretty. Anyways, Bitcoin, like I said, rejecting, starting to move down on the daily, right? Or starting in the 1 hour. We're starting to create this hidden bullish, right? Potential price continuation, and part of the reason that we hit the bounce. Now, we're going higher, but we're failing to go much higher than, what would we call it here? 6,394. So there could be a chance that we might start to turn down again. Not the best looking, like I said, right? Really not good looking for Bitcoin. Again, this rally should have been much stronger. It wasn't strong. Again, it was just to close a gap on the CME like we discussed earlier. I haven't looked at the CME Bitcoin. I probably should. Let me look at this. Sitting neutral on their side, 46.24. Now, before I go on something else, I want to look at Bitcoin on the CME. It should be this one, Bitcoin futures on the CME. Oh man, now I wonder, maybe this one's the one that has a gap. Let's go on the daily. Did we gap? Yeah, there seems to be a gap here, right? This would have been Friday the 27th, closing the market at 6,600, opening at 6,000, right? 6,030, and then we started to move up to try to close that gap. We did manage to wick here, right? And as you can see at the top of this wick, managed to hit the closing of this wick, closing the gap, and then we're starting to move down. So like I said, that came out from an article that I looked at. And is Bitcoin in quarantine? No, man. Bitcoin is being Bitcoin, man. It's slow, right? And that's what happened here on the 30th, right? When markets open, we started to shoot to close that gap on the CME. We did, and then started to move it back down again. Pray for the world. Yeah, pray for the world, man, for sure. Things are not going to be pretty for a lot of people, man. Again, we got some very strong movement to the downside at 6 p.m. today. So it was, I'm not surprised to see this happening again. Yeah, I thought you'd type something else. Stay the same on Bitcoin in quarantine. I'm not sure, man. I don't think Bitcoin is in quarantine. I think Bitcoin's just been Bitcoin. It might go down more. For some reason, I get that feeling that we haven't bottomed yet. Right? Like I said, I haven't found my bottom at the price where I want to get back in. I haven't found a signal to or anything that signifies that we bottomed, right? Like, I'm not sure this is the bottom. We haven't created double bottom. We haven't created head and shoulders. We haven't created anything that would indicate that this could be our point of return. And I'm looking for that. Right? I want to see that happening. I want to get that indication in the market that we're done going down and that we're going to start pumping, and I haven't found it, right? That's why I'm hesitant to get into Bitcoin still. Anyways, let's move on to Ethereum. What is happening with Ethereum dominance? Yesterday, it lost dominance. 0.85%. Today, it's gaining 0.83%. Sitting at 8.34% of market cap. The price of Ethereum is sitting at $133.25. Now, again, it's still within this rising wedge, getting and holding the 20, although it looks like we're having a lot of indecision today. And it looks too cluttered, so I'm going to make this zoom a little bit for you guys and show you here what I mean when I say indecision. Is this here? It's doing nothing. It's 0.04, but look at this. It's just like a flat doji. It did move down a little bit, managed to come back up. But that's it. Now, starting to create, it's still creating positive momentum, right? More than we had before. Now, I hadn't called this one out yet. Yesterday, we were here. I think when we were doing the stream, we weren't quite that high. We were probably down here, or at least opening here. Sitting neutral on the RSI at 41.50. And what I told you guys I hadn't called is this. So if I go from here to here, I'm going from a high to a lower high. And I'm just going to make sure I'm anchoring this on the daily only. No, see, there you go. I wanted to go to the 1 hour as well. And we're going from a positive momentum to more positive momentum. And that's a bearish, right? This is a bearish indicator. It is hidden. Bearish divergence could potentially mean price continuation and might go down. Again, this could still go and develop, right? And go higher. And this could go higher and negate it. It just needs to get higher than like $140. Right, $142 actually, or yeah, $139. That was the opening here, or closing of the previous day. So again, we do want to get above those levels for us to negate this divergence that we're creating. And it would seem that we also would have it here on the other side, going from a lower to a higher, right? So from here to high. Again, hidden bearish divergence on the daily on Ethereum. Now onto the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour, again, we called this out right on the 30th. Set price action to the downside on hidden bearish. We did move down, and again, managed to hold the 20 though. Here we haven't broken below the 20. We did manage to go back and touch it, almost bounce, rejecting lower prices, which is good. But we're still below the 236 at $136, right? Have not been able to get up there again, and we're still within this range of the 136, and we haven't broke below 121. Remember, Crypto Pepe Silva, when you asked me what would be a range for Ethereum and Bitcoin, and I told you a good range for Ethereum would be, one range would be up here, right, from 193 to 159, and then the next range would be from 159 to 121. Well, that's the range we're trading at, and we have not been able to get out of it. We've been trading within a tighter range, to be honest, within the 136 and below, even though we have gotten above the 136 a couple times. Range could be extended, but again, 159, we almost hit it here. And that's the range that we're trading. We've broken below 121, but not too much, right? We managed to get back above, and we're still within this range. Anyways, we have a rising wedge on the major pattern, which usually means that we might break to the downside. And still waiting for this to basically finish developing, and we get a clear idea as to what might happen. That's all I have for the 4 hours. It's neutral on the RSI at 54.18. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. On the 1 hour, we're creating divergence again, right? We call this bearish. Move to the downside, break down, right? This was 10 p.m. I wasn't surprised that we hit back here. Then we started try to rally again, going slightly higher on Ethereum on the 1 hour. Probably creating divergence still, and yes, we are creating divergence still, right? We're from a high to a higher high. And we're going from a high on positive momentum to a lower positive momentum, right? And same stuff happening with the RSI. We're going to a higher price, breaking with divergence, strong bearish, price action to downside, breaking us below the 20. Got back above it, moving down, bouncing off the 20. This is good. If we manage to hold the 20, we could be looking for higher prices. This still has 28 minutes to go. Right, we could try to get a new bounce, and maybe we can still create a little bit more positive momentum, create that strong divergence once more, and then really break down. In case we manage to hold this and the tightness of the Bollinger Bands plays to our advantage, we might pump to the upside violently and look for higher prices, even getting above the 236 at $136, right? Crypto Pepe Silva asking markets could be waiting for stabilization. Yeah. Markets could be waiting for stabilization. I'm not sure we're going to see it soon, though. I think the ride is still very wild. We haven't really measured the full impact that COVID-19 is going to have on the economy. Not just the U.S. economy, but the global economy. There are still a lot of countries where goods are still manufactured that haven't suffered the full effects of COVID-19. and they will suffer them at some point in time, and we might still see a lot of stagnation in the economy. Just because one country is out of the it's out of the woods doesn't mean that the rest of the countries are out of the woods. And unfortunately, the world does not just revolve around one country completely. It revolves around the world, being everyone has a part to play. Now, some goods that from the U.S. come from Canada. If Canada's industry is not reactivated, you're gonna have problems. Some goods to the U.S. go from Mexico. If Mexican industry is just stopping right now, and the U.S. economy stopped about 2 weeks ago, and then maybe the U.S. economy starts earlier than the Mexican economy, you're still gonna have a lack for goods because the Mexican economy still it's still stopped, right? It hasn't kicked back into full force. So again, and that's just not it. We do have a lot of other countries in Asia that are starting to suffer that. India, we're probably going to have some countries in South America that are probably going to start also suffering it more, like Brazil, Peru, Chile, and still, like I said, yet to determine the full effects and impact that this might have. Now, that's it for Ethereum. I'm going to move on to XRP and look at something else. XRP on the daily. What is happening, man? Yesterday, XRP gained dominance, bouncing on the 20, 0.13%. Even though it says negative, I'll tell you why. It opened here, like close here. It gapped down, it opened here, and managed to go up, but still managed to close a little bit below this closing candle on the red. That's what it says negative, even though it's green candle. It says 0.13%, and now it's starting to move up, 0.07, right? Sitting at 4.36% of market cap. The price of XRP at 17 cents, 17.458 cents. Starting to get tightness off the Bollinger Bands. Still within this rising wedge. Again, rising wedge tend to break the downside. It's an exhaustion pattern. And we could see potential price targets to the downside, right? Even though the longer we stay here, it's one of those things where it has a higher potential to break the downside, but it's not unheard of that they could break to the upside. And that's why we have to keep on tracking, right? The more we tighten on this range, as we keep on escalating, it'll give us a better clue as to where we might break. Again, lower than our previous high, less positive momentum. Slightly higher on the RSI, is it? Is the RSI resetting? Yes, slightly, I guess. Let me see this. 46.99, 47.50, yes. Alrighty. This might not even be that strong, though. I'm just going to point it out because we do have it. And we're going from a high on the RSI, from a high on the price to a lower high, positive to on the RSI to a higher positive on the RSI, right, to a higher point on the RSI, creating hidden bearish potential price continuation. Now, I'm not saying I'm not stacking too much into this or buying too much into this divergence, is because we know there's two ways we reset the oscillator. One of them is we float sideways until we slowly reset it, and the other one is we do a sharp movement like we do here, right? The small down. Look at where it's at here. Look at where it's at here, and look at the difference on the RSI here. Here we're higher on the RSI, here we're lower, because we're resetting it quickly with quick movements to the downside. Now, when you don't do that, you have these sideways motions that take forever, and they slowly start to reset your oscillator. Even though we haven't risen that much in price, the RSI has risen way much more. That's why I'm not banking too much onto this divergence, although I'm just going to leave it here for this example's sake, right? So we know we talked about it. We're still in this yellow rectangle of support resistance area, and we've been holding it fairly well. Haven't changed it since a while, since we drew it actually. All I've done is just extend it to the side, and as you can tell, it has been respected beautifully on the top, on the bottom, a couple times. So again, we do know it's a very valid area of structure. Let's go to the 4-hour. The 4-hour, we called the bullish divergence, right? It was down to here though when we called it, so let me adjust it to where it's actually at. Price action to the upside, again, managed to get above the 20 very nicely, holding it, moving down, rejecting lower prices, which is good in the 4 hours. Though, high, lower high, positive momentum, less positive momentum, high on the RSI, lower on the RSI, being congruent with the market. Neutral on the RSI at 54.44, nothing else happening. Let's go to the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, we might have something, and we do, just like Bitcoin did, right? I'm just going to make sure this is on the 1 hour only. That way it's not going to go on the daily and it's going to be bothering us tomorrow there. And we're creating this, right? And if you know what this is, it's a hidden bullish divergence. low, higher low, negative momentum, more negative momentum, low on the RSI, lower on the RSI. Potential price continuation, getting this bounce, rejecting the 20, not good. Rejecting it once, rejecting it twice. Right, I'm not sure how clear this is for you on your screens. My screen where I do all this tracking, it's stuck for some reason, and it seems I'm really far behind on the stream. 1 second, guys. Let me go live. And I think I'm still behind for some reason. My phone is just being weird. I think my internet might be slow. Anyways, I'm not sure how clear this is for you guys, but for me, I can see here on my screen, so I'm assuming you can see it possibly clearly as well. Now, we're getting this bounce, rejecting. We're starting to move up again and touching the 20. I'm not sure if we're going to break it or not. If we break it, we might be looking for higher prices. If we don't, potential lower prices coming in. Depends on how well we manage to hold the 20 or reject the 20. Sitting neutral on the RSI at 52.28. That's it for XRP. Let's go to Litecoin. And if it seems like I move quicker as I get through like the smaller coins, it is just because the market is so insane that one coin is just one of those like one analysis fits most. So it's just like looking at similar stuff over and over, right? Litecoin dominance yesterday lost dominance 0.98%. Today is losing dominance 0.03%. Sitting at 1.42% of market cap. Now the price of Litecoin at $38.82. We had divergence bearish, price action to the downside. We didn't move down, just haven't recovered yet. Still within this rising wedge. Potentially breaking to the downside. Sitting at 42.69 on the RSI. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. You had divergence here. We called it sideways motion, even though here it looks like it's a little bit higher. Trying to get this. Alright, that's why it wasn't letting me adjust. There we go. Sideways motion. Oh no, what did I do? Go back. There we go. Alright, price action to the upside. We did get it. Bouncing again. Managing to get above the 20. Holding it beautifully. Rejecting lower prices like we did with the rest of the market. Again, following the market. So in sync. It's crazy. Something I'm looking at right now, though. 12. 10. Alrighty. We do have something here happening. We're going to a slightly higher point. Higher high, slightly though. Positive momentum, less positive momentum, creating strong bearish divergence. Price action to the downside. Now, same stuff is happening with the RSI. Sitting neutral though at 51.19. Let's go to the 1-hour chart. On the 1 hour, below the 20, just like the rest of the market on bearish divergence that we called out yesterday. Now, are we creating something here? Yes, very slightly low. Alrighty, we do have something here. And it's unlike the rest of the market. We are creating divergence, but it's bullish. The rest of the market had, I think it was hidden bullish that we were calling down here. Let me look at XRP. Yeah, it was hidden bullish, right? They're diverging on the bottom part. And then Litecoin is trading strong bullish, right? Going low, lower low, negative momentum, less negative momentum. Strong bullish divergence, potential price action to the upside. We're getting it though, but we're weak. We haven't even touched the 20. We're rejecting. Not good looking. Sitting neutral on the other side, 46.45. Now, potentially that we move to the downside. Might try to rally again, hit the 20, and we failed. We might move to the downside, right? Again, that's it for Litecoin. Let's move on to Binance. What is happening with Binance? Yesterday it gained dominance, 1.91%. Today's gaining 0.61%. Sitting at 1.11% of market cap. The price of Binance at $12.51. Again, not much happening. High, lower high, right? High, lower high. Positive momentum, less positive momentum. Higher on the RSI at 45.72, 45.07, slightly lower here. So again, we're congruent with the market on Binance. So really not much going on. Above the 20, starting to get some stagnation here, and maybe because the rest of the cryptosphere is doing the same. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour, we had that strong hidden bullish against the RSI. Price action to the upside. Got it to build beautifully. Now we're creating hidden bearish. Right? High, lower high, positive momentum, more positive momentum. On the RSI, we don't have it. Setting neutral on the RSI at 56.05. Again, potential price continuation to the downside. We did move down, hit the 20, and bounce from it. Remember, the 20 is key. It's a key support. If we break it, we'll look for lower prices. If we break it, we could potentially look for lower prices, especially if we try to rally and fail. We'll certainly look for lower prices. If we hold it and bounce from it, and use it as trampoline, we might look for higher prices, right? Let's go to the 1 hour chart. What's happening on the 1 hour? Again, divergence. Price action to the upside. Got it to play out beautifully. Bearish divergence. Price action to the downside. Held at 20. See what I talked about? Held at 20. Bounce. Failed at the bounce. Or at least got to the same height, I think. Close to it. Went down again. Touched the 20. Used it as a catapult and trampoline to the upside. Right? Again, stuff that we talk about, right? So we don't make this up. This is stuff that happens in the market. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. Sorry, let's place this on the 1 hour chart. Anchoring there. Now going from a high to a lower high, right? We don't have this on the MACD. Sorry, on the RSI. High, higher high. On the MACD, we do have it. Positive momentum, less positive momentum. Creating strong bearish divergence. Price action to the downside. We did move down. Held at 20. Tried to bounce. Failed at the bounce, right? We didn't get to the same height that we had before. Right? That height being, what is this closing at? Close at 1271.81. This is 1270, like 1 cent off. Enough that we could call this sideways motion if we wanted to, and then target it to the downside, right? I mean, it's just very, very slight on the movement to the downside. And if anything, we would be creating to the same height, if you wanted to call this the same height. It's just very minuscule movement, right? If I leave it there, it'll just look very, very tight. Now, wow, damn, dude, Home Depot's commercials are freaking loud. Thank you, Spotify. There we go. Now, oh, okay, cool. So, I mean, I'm hesitant to call this because the rest of the market's doing it, though. And, look, it even went almost to the same price that we were back here, right? Like a cent off. And look how much lower we're here. So, again, potentially we could call it a bearish divergence, medium bearish divergence, if we were to consider this to be the same height on the price, right? I'm not sure if we want to consider this the same height. But if we consider it, it would seem to make sense. We're a cent off, 1 cent off. It's enough that we could consider it hitting the same price. If we zoom out a lot, it would certainly seem like we just hit the same height. Just because we're zoomed in so much, you can really see that just 1 cent, it's that much higher, right? Anyways, this would indicate price action to the downside. We did move down, fell at the 20, broke it, moving lower, starting to break back up again on hidden bullish. And that one is very valid and very clear. And we can see it here, right? On all of the oscillators. Hidden bullish. Price continuation. We did get that bounce. Fell at the 20. Fell at the 20 here and started to move lower. Right? Anyways, that's it for crypto. If you want me to look at other crypto, let me know. I'm going to look at gold real quick and silver and figure out what's happening with those assets real quick. And then after that, we'll look at stocks and then we'll look at oil and figure out what's happening with oil. Man, barrels of oil is so cheap, we should start buying barrels of oil because the price might go up again. What is happening with silver on the daily? Let's go there. Starting to pull a sort of rally, semi-stabilization around the $14 mark. Remember how I told you it was back to its regular area? When we were back here, we were talking about buying back up, right? We said we're going to run up on silver, and we did. Again, very nice movement to the upside, failing at 382, right? The 382 at $14.70. Since we did hit it twice, we didn't even hit the 20. We just hit the 382 and that's it. Now we are moving down again. And it seems like we want to stabilize here. We did talk about this hidden divergence that we were creating, right? This hidden bearish potential price action to the downside. We didn't get that move down. And right now, it seems like we're stabilizing around $14, which is a good price for silver. It's a stable price for silver. It's where it has been for a while before, right? We know silver has been at $14 for a while before. If we go on the weekly, we might be able to see that $14 mark right back here. So we do know it's valid. We've hit it here as well, and we used it as support and bounce. So we know silver at $14 is not far-fetched. It's a good value for it, and it still has potential to the upside. Right? Anyways, that's it for silver. I'm going to go to gold quick. What's happening with gold? Gold created the same thing, right? hidden divergence. We called that 2 days ago on the 30th. Yesterday, what happened? We tanked on gold, breaking below the 20, right? Not even managing to hold the 236 at 1,600. We're heading towards 1,536. Again, instability, right? What we're telling you, markets have not stabilized. We are waiting for market stabilization, yes, but it might take a while. Neutral on their side, 49.95. Haven't created anything here on the bottom that we can call bullish. We're just playing off this. And again, we seem to hit a price for gold where it's stable or stabilized before. See, we have been around the 1,500s for a while. We have been around that area before as well. We started this climb pre-COVID, right? So, but this area for gold, we have not seen it since 2012, right? Pre-crash. This will be 2011, 2012. Cyprus took their, market crash. Cyprus sold their silver, crashed the silver price. Gold probably came down with it as well. We did have a markets crash, and then we haven't recovered fully yet, and we're looking towards that. Now, 2008 would be back here, right? That's the pre-crash 2008. Get that nice rally. Markets failed. Move down. Right. That's it for gold. Let's go. Look at the markets. What's happening with the markets? The S&P yesterday down 42 points. Nikkei down 167 points. Toronto Stock Exchange is up 340. London Stock Exchange down 42. What happened with the Dow? It went down for 110 points. That is weird because it's where is the Dow, man? Oh, I'm looking at the weekly, that's why. Daily, there we go. That's why it was making no sense when I was saying it. Here we go. Hit the 20, move down. Right? We did talk about that happening with the US 30, right? We said we might move down, and we did move down. This is today, though, April the 1st. So we're still, like, red. If we manage to get to the opening bell and we're still red, we might open down on a gap. Because this is the Dow live, right? Here we go. Now, back to the other markets that we look at real quick, just so we can look at them on the daily, because it made no sense, man. I was looking at them, I was like, that's weird. S&P down again, like I said, now it's red. Nikkei down. Toronto up. London down. Very little though. It's just basically no movement on the London Stock Exchange. Now let's look at a oil real quick. Look at Brent. It went down, man, from like $29. Back here, $27 all the way to 26. I think a lot of the oil is down still. That's why I'm saying it's cheap to get oil right now. We're looking for that bounce, right? We're looking for this bottoming, which we kind of have hit, right? Divergence creating, waiting for this movement to the upside. We haven't gotten it yet. And that's why I'm a little bit more bullish on oil. We might get a good move. Particularly, we have gaps that we need closing. Right? Gaps in price. If you guys want to look at something else, let me know. Otherwise, we will call it a stream for tonight, guys. Now is your time to request. Man, so thirsty, man. Just playing with the mic while you guys come up with something. If I don't get anything on the chat, I'm gonna look at signing off, guys. Thank you all for being here, though. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. There's a couple of you guys tuned in. Thank you guys for watching. Again, you guys are amazing. That's our Twitter out right now, by the way. Right there in that corner over there. And you can join us, sign up, or, follow me on Twitter. That'll be great. I guess it's going to be it for tonight, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you like what we do, you know what to do. Hit that like, that bell, that sub to be notified when we go live. This is Instead of Crypto. I'm your host, Martin. It has been a pleasure being here with you guys on an awesome Tuesday night. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in and finding us as entertainment or potential educational value for particularly during this pandemic, right, where you guys are stuck at home and you could be watching anything, but you're deciding to watch us, and that is very, very cool. Thank you for being here. That's gonna be all for tonight, guys. I'll catch you tomorrow for another edition of Instead of Crypto. Again, until tomorrow, guys, thank you for watching again. I was about to sign off. Crypto Pipazillo, what's up? V-shape recovery, W-shape recovery. On what? Sorry. Oh man, that's gonna be a tough call.